and welcome to the Big Apple School Podcast, the weekly English show where we speak about everything under the sun. The major goal of the show is to help you improve your English and, of course, learn something new. My name is Katja, I'm your host, and today with me
is Ken from the Philippines.
And
Inga from Armenia.
Guys, this is the most special episode that we've ever had. Well, except for the first one, maybe. Why? Because this is our 100th episode. Can you imagine?
Woo!
Hooray!
So, and we are very excited about it. We can't, hide our emotions and our excitement. But you know what? You can make us even happier. How? Well, you can celebrate it together with us by subscribing to our pages on Apple, Yandex, SoundCloud, Google, VK, anywhere. And let us know what you think about our show. Tell us, how long have you been with us? How many episodes do you think you've listened to? Rate and review our podcast, give us stars, leave comments, ask questions, and feel free to send your ideas about our next episodes so that we become even better. The sky's the limit. Woohoo! So, and you know what? I think it would be great to kind of,
go back.
Exactly.
Stroll down the memory lane.
Exactly. And remember the previous episodes. And I think that Ken here is the veteran of the podcast because you have been there recording the very first episode.
Right.
So what was it like? How did you feel? And what did you think about when you were recording the very first one?
Well, to start off, let me say that first, it was an idea that initially came to the mind of Sam because he was my partner in the very first episode of the podcast. And to be honest with you, when he brought it up to me, I was kind of hesitant because it's something that I hadn't done before. And I thought to myself, oh my God, podcast, how am I going to sound? And I was kind of, worried because to be honest with you, I'm a bit self-conscious. Like I wouldn't want to make a caricature of myself whenever I make mistakes because, as a teacher, I wouldn't want to put myself out there in a position where people could judge me because I might say something that may be disagreeable to other people. So when he brought it up to me, I thought, okay, are you sure that you want to pair up with me? Because maybe you would want other, teachers. And he said, no, I like you. So let's have this conversation. Please join me. And I said, okay, why not? So the very first day, actually, so before that, we thought about which topics to talk about. And then, so we decided to have, the UK first to talk about the culture, the language, etc., about where he comes from. Yeah, the first two episodes, followed by the third and fourth episode focusing on my country, the Philippines. And actually, we did it on a couch, not like our setup today. So we've gone a long way because now we have a real, I would say, like studio for a podcast. Yeah. But back then we were just sitting on a couch recording on a phone with this
phone?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah, it was.
Oh my God, because I joined way later when recording on a couch has been replaced by recording in the little booth, cave. It looks so weird. Really, it's like, so what was it? It was like two chairs,
right?
And then we had these like styrofoam
tiny plates.
Yeah, oh my God,
small microphone.
Can you believe it? But the very first one, at least the first few episodes, we were just sitting on a couch and so there was this small microphone that we had to share.
Oh, you had one, so you kind of had to pass it.
Well, it's fixated on one place, and then eventually we had two like separate small microphones. And I remember while doing it, I was actually really nervous because,
of course,
that was the very first time, and I thought, oh my God, like, okay, here we go. And then when he started, of course, initially, in whatever activity we do, we feel nervous at the beginning, but as it goes by, eventually you get the hang of it, you feel more comfortable. And then from then on, I must say that I felt more and more confident And what else? We moved on from basically introducing ourselves and what this podcast is all about to talking about many different topics. We talked about music, animals, our own experiences here in Russia.
Actually, that was one of my most favorite episodes. Even though the quality of the sound was not that good, let's be fair, but I just loved hearing your stories about Mother Russia. It was so fun. Yeah, I think it was like the 5th or the 6th, like at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah. Oh God, that was so cool. And yeah, I think we should point out that the name of the podcast is What's the Crack?
Right. Okay, I just want to explain that because when we were thinking about the name, so he was thinking of something else, and then I told him, anyway, because you're the one who brought this up, why don't we just call it What's the Crack? Because basically that's how they greet each other or ask each other in Northern Ireland, and the crack is spelled as CRAIC. So it's like, how are you, or what's happening? And then he said, that's actually cool. So we can adopt that.
Oh, so it wasn't Sam who came up with the idea?
No, it was my
you.
idea.
Oh my, he got all the credit. Look at him.
No, but then again, it's all right because he's like the main host. By the way, it moved from me being his like partner in the early stages to him having other, of course, guests or teachers. But it was just fun to do it, with him from the very beginning, and to see how this one has grown. Because now we have our own studio, this fancy microphone.
If you listeners follow us on Instagram, you might have seen this because we have posted pictures from us recording on our Insta stories of us sitting with 3 professional mics, just so you understand.
Right.
With the sound. What is it like?
It's
sound,
quite different.
Like
absorbing,
soundproofing,
curtains. So and if you haven't seen this, follow us on Instagram to see.
Yeah.
And I remember there have been so many guests. Some of them are no longer here with us at Big Apple School because they've moved back. I remember Reno.
Right.
Ian, Mike.
Right.
Oh my God, there have been
Brian.
so many. Yeah, Brian.
And you know what? It used to be just like foreign teachers, but then it moved on to having like a combination of the native speaker, and then you have the Russian teacher, and you also have a podcast where basically you have the local teachers, the Russian teachers, talking about many different things. So now it has expanded and it has
absolutely
become
so
bigger.
It started as only native speakers. Then Sam had some guests, who were Russian speakers, and then actually I remember that as an experiment we had episodes with only Russian teachers in Russian.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, Inga, you recorded some of them, haven't you?
Yes, surely.
Which ones were they?
Recording with Natalia, with Nina, with the teacher of children's teacher in Big Apple School. So we spoke in Russian, discussed teenager problems, how to have classes, how to help them to study English. We spoke about parents, that parents shouldn't help their children because children should come to school with their mistakes. So that's why we have to correct their mistakes, to see their mistakes, to correct them. So it was really interesting and important topic, I guess. And it is really important for parents to listen to. I strongly recommend parents of children to listen to these podcasts. So we have a lot of different topics about traveling.
Oh, anything
about,
basically.
Yes, about different countries. I'd like to mention too about South Africa, the UK, the USA, of course, Armenia, of course.
Oh yeah, there was several
participated,
episodes actually
right.
about food, about Armenian
Culture, traditions,
yeah.
right. It was just, I was so excited to speak about my native country.
Oh, I love that episode. Yeah, I had to Google a lot of things though, especially, names.
But food, right?
Yes, because I don't know much. Well, I didn't at that point know much
Of
about
course.
names. Like, even though I could, imagine what it looks like. But yeah. And we had 2 special episodes with, so these episodes were also in Russian with a special guest, Yulia Spirov from Seattle. And we got again, these must have been my favorite episodes, really, to record, because we discussed West Coast versus East Coast, because I lived on the East Coast.
I remember that.
Oh God, it was like East Coast better, and he was like West Coast better. And yeah, it was so much fun. And then the second one that we recorded together with her was about the difference between the US and Russia. So we talked about, culture shock, dogs in the US, absolutely everything. So yeah. Wow. And what about you actually? What are your favorite episodes? What do you think?
I guess about favorite music, influence on our life and why we need it, actually. So about Cambridge exams, I guess it will help children, teenagers to...
Yeah, that was a very useful one.
It was really useful. Mm-hmm. About teenagers, of course, it was my topic to help them how to behave, how to help
You just love teens.
Yes.
Let's be
right.
I like the fact that that she's a motherly figure, and I can see that.
Oh my God.
The way she treats, her students. So
agree.
I really like working with him, really.
That shows, yes.
Yeah. I can mention as well social networks. We are addicted to them or not. So what to do?
Can you see the diversity of the episodes? God, I sometimes forget about how diverse our topics are. Ken, what about your favorite episodes?
Okay, I don't think there's anything in particular because usually it's more about the topic that's, being discussed at hand. But if I have to mention one, the one that I had with Natalia where we talked about social problems. I know it's a bit, depressing to talk about problems. But
yeah, because you talked about homelessness,
exactly.
drug problems,
alcoholism. But for some reason, I kind of enjoyed it because, I'm the type of person who wants to talk about life, life that is, more relatable to people because, let's face it, we live in this life and we encounter so many different problems. And for me, it was a great venue to talk about these things because I thought they were relevant. So I would say that's one of my favorites. Although I can also say that the earliest episodes with Sam, I also enjoy them. Not just for the topics that we have, discussed, but because of our friendship, because he's really like very, very close to me. That we could just, I don't know, for those of you who have been listening to us from the very beginning, there were always laughs because,
interruption.
He loves interrupting me. And I also, made fun of him. So the earliest episodes also.
Yeah, I remember in one of them, Sam was constantly interrupting you. You're like, just let me speak, will you?
Exactly.
Oh, God. Yeah. But we're growing. Well, we're not saying, of course, that now we're not fun to listen to. I hope we still are. Yeah, so we should throw a party to celebrate our 100th episode.
Party.
And funny, I should mention this because this is actually our topic for today. So parties and gifts. So tell me, are you guys party animals? Have you ever been one?
Well, allow me to say that in my younger days, I talk as though I'm really old now, but no, if we talk about, let's say in my early 20s, it started when I was a teenager, like in my late teens to early 20s, and mid 20s as well. I would say that I used to be a party animal, and by party animal, of course, not just the, I don't know what their associations of party is, but for me, when you say like a party, it's not just limited to like the birthday party, the typical thing, because you can be called a party animal if you like going to clubs or bars. And I must say that oh God, back in those days, I was really a party animal. And by that, I meant I loved attending huge events. And if we talk about, say, for example, evening activities, like going to bars or clubs, there's a lot of dancing, singing, even though, my voice is terrible.
But I remember you told us that you love karaoke, so.
Absolutely. And, well, I'm sorry to say this, but, also a bit of drinking, maybe not just a bit, but a lot of it.
Again, we remember the episode about drinking. So come on, everything has been said already.
So basically, yeah, I can say that I was once a party animal, but nowadays, how will I put it? Maybe I have, I'm more tame now. Because it's not because I'm getting old, or maybe partly because of that. But maybe because I'm more serious about life. I don't know. It's like...
I think that's a totally expected maybe change in behavior when you are in your early 20s.
Right.
This is exactly the time to party, to do crazy stuff, but once you get older, you kind of calm down. I think this is only natural.
I just wanted to celebrate life because I was young, wild, and free at the time. It's not like I'm already tied down and I have a family, but for some reason I've just matured.
I love that. All right. And Inga, what about you?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe unfortunately or fortunately, I'm not a party animal part because so I like having guests at my place. I like cooking. I like just treat my guests, but I don't like to go to the parties.
But wait, actually, because in my mind, if you have a gathering, so people come over, let's say you cook something, you maybe play,
Exactly.
I don't know about you, but let's say sometimes board games. In my mind, it's still, that can be considered as a party because you have gathering, you have people, you prepare for it.
I'm really a sociable person. I have a lot of friends. So we gather together, we buy some sweets, cakes, I don't know, a lot of tasty food, or maybe I cook something and invite my friends to my place. But I don't like going to the parties, to the clubs, to restaurants, I don't know, so something like that. And actually, that's why I'm not a party animal, I can say.
So you like parties as long as it's quiet, parties at home.
Right.
So
at home.
What I'm getting from her is like she's like the homey kind of party animal.
Right. Yes,
in a homey way, if you know what I
Homey
mean.
party.
It's rather more, I would say, like gentle, more peaceful, not much of the craziness that I did when I was younger. Because
I've never been such one.
Well, which is also good because, that means that you don't lose yourself, because sometimes if we talk about like wild parties, I'm sure our listeners do understand that with some kind of alcohol, you could really go crazy because, with the help of alcohol, you become crazy. You just do stupid, crazy things.
Yeah.
But the strange thing that just springs to my mind when I hear the word party, it's just loud music, a lot of people, champagne,
the
swimming
typical
pool,
association.
like American stereotype.
Exactly. I think this is exactly what it is, a stereotype. So we all have this picture of like, wild dancing, lots of alcohol and whatnot. So especially from all those American movies, that's true. So, but it's not usually like that. Not always like that.
Yeah, Katya, before we go there, discussing about the stereotypes, but what about you? Are you a party animal?
I don't think I am. And, when I was at school, and a lot of school kids, when we were like 16, 17, maybe.
Teenagers.
Yeah, so they really loved, going to the club. I've never been a fan of clubs. So honestly, I think I've been to a club like 5-6 times in my life. That's it.
Wow.
So I'm not really a fan sometimes, but now, like not in my teenage years, surprising. My parents are lucky, actually. You know what? So when I was a teen, I never wanted to go these crazy, crazy parties with lots of alcohol or whatever, or go to a club or something. No, I was very quiet, sitting at home, reading my books, playing my computer games. So things like that. So yeah.
And just to be clear, it doesn't mean that you're missing out in life because,
absolutely
come on,
not.
No, it's your choice.
And the only reason why I became a party animal, it's because of the circle that I had back then.
Yeah, we are very often influenced by the people that surround us. But I would say that I have only got to love not clubs per se, but dancing. When I moved to the US, there is a reason for that actually, because I remember once going to a club in Novosibirsk, and I was enjoying myself. I was just dancing because I wanted to dance. That's what I wanted to do. And I was approached by a person who said, "Oh my God, you really don't know how to dance, do you?" I was like, "Excuse you now?" But even though you try not to give a damn about it, you can't but do that. So, but then when I moved to the US, I kind of realized that everyone's so supportive. No one gives a damn about what you do. So yeah, and I just started to enjoy myself. So that's why sometimes, usually like once every 4 or 5 months, sometimes more often, my friend and I would just go to dance. So to dance, and also at the place that we go to, there's air hockey, this like team.
Right.
And I love that. So 2 things, what's there not to love?
Yeah,
air hockey and dancing.
Absolutely right.
Like it, yeah. But I can't say that I'm like a huge fan of that. So it's not like I'm going out every week.
Mm-hmm.
No. Yeah.
So even now, you don't go to the clubs?
Well, now nobody goes to the to clubs. Since last year, since 2020, nobody does. But yeah, I think sometimes I want to go dance, but that's it. Not have anything wild. Nothing like that. But yeah, so what if we talk about these stereotypes actually? So from movies and from whatever. So we picture it as, something wild. So what do we picture? Like lots of people?
You're right. Lots of people, a lot of music.
Yeah.
Champagne. I don't know why. Not vodka.
For some reason, yeah.
I don't know. Right.
Well, because it's American movies,
Maybe.
But
swimming pool, big swimming pool.
Right. And
beautiful girls.
Yeah.
Parents are away, teenagers are, just.
Oh my God. This sounds like a crazy house party when you invite your friends over. And it's not just the variety of music, but oh my God, loud music that it can be so
loud.
Disturbing even to neighbors. Well, sadly, that's the effect of it. And it can be really, inconvenient or uncomfortable for your neighbors. But if we talk about crazy, parties, that's how it normally goes.
But I want to ask you, so we can talk about actually 4 different countries right now. So what about Philippines, Armenia, Russia, and the US? So are parties like that common? And especially if we talk about teenagers, do they actually do that? Do they throw crazy parties while the parents are away?
Well, actually, yes, because I've been to such parties, several times when I was a teenager. However, we tried to make sure as much as possible whenever we were still okay. By okay, I mean sober, to not make it too loud because, you never know if, you've hit the jackpot and the neighbor comes
call the police.
knocking on your door and call the police. So we tried to sort of like control ourselves, but then it happened. And for the most part, I would say that parties like that, especially with teenagers, with parents being away, it happens. There's loud music. There are games also. Lots of food. And when it comes to the food, it's not just the host who invited, the guests who prepared the food, but including the guests themselves can also bring in some food. Yeah.
So it's like, potluck, I think
potluck,
they call
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Right.
When you basically bring whatever you can to the pot as they call it, usually snacks. But mentioning the police, technically if we think about it, what's the worst that the police can do in this situation? They're going to, just, I think it's going to be, no more than a warning. Because usually nobody, writes a fine or, goes to jail for this.
I've never heard, at least from my experience or from what I've heard, like I've never heard of anyone who was arrested unless there's, because it's another thing when somebody, for example, causes a serious crime, and by crime, like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, like stabbing, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, and if you, I do not know, are rude to a police officer, of course, you can get locked up for like a day or something. But other than that, it's usually a warning because everyone understands that's teens.
Exactly.
So What about Armenia?
Oh, we have parties, of course, family parties generally. So we have there a lot of people, actually, a lot of children, if it's a family party, of course. But of course, we go to the clubs, to the cafes, restaurants. So I can remember my 20th anniversary. We went with my friends, went to the cafe and danced up to 12 o'clock at midnight. So it was amazing. We didn't drink alcohol. We just had a lot of food on the table. We had a big cake.
Wow.
We had barbecue, but we danced a lot, I remember, up to now. So it was amazing.
So it's not common for the teenagers then to throw, these crazy parties?
No.
That's good.
We don't do it.
It's good.
We don't do it.
I think in Russia it's not too common when you're a teenager, but it can be common if you're a student and you rent an apartment. And I think that this is exactly what is happening in my case with my neighbor. May she live long and peaceful life.
Bless her.
Oh, yeah. Because I think she's like around 21, 22. And if generally she's not, loud and everything, but sometimes during the weekend, there is, loud music. And once actually, so I woke up at 2 a.m. because there was loud music, loud conversations. Then I heard them going to the balcony. We have a shared balcony. Basically, everything that surrounds us is a wall. And they stepped outside to have a smoke, apparently. So I went outside and I was like leaning and said, am I allowed to swear? Am I allowed to swear? Because, I feel like I should, but restrictions. I was like, are you out of your mind? It's 3 a.m. Get quieter. They're like, oh, sorry. And then they actually did become quieter, not quite enough for me to fall back asleep, but still. And I've just realized that if that ever happens, I'm just going to call the cops because she lives in a one-room apartment. So her only room is my bedroom. So we share the wall. So yeah, God. And they're so loud sometimes.
Awful.
But the thing is that you can't really call the cops if people are just shouting at each other. Because what are you going to say? They're shouting at each other. The police is going to say, so what?
So what? Right.
So yeah. And I'm like, yeah. I have realized that now I kind of love parties, but not in a way of like, gathering a lot of people, but this small, like little gatherings with friends, with snacks, maybe, baking something, a bottle of wine and board games. So something like that.
That's it.
So yeah, not, like crazy dancing, but more like, hey, let's play board games or watch some TV shows. And we just, because I have several board games, so we just put them, on the floor, sit on the floor with snacks around. So
that sounds more wholesome and homey in a way.
Yeah.
Not the, the wild party that, the wild parties that I used to engage in.
But while I was at college, teaching at college, and I remember mentioning it during our episode about alcohol. So I saw these wild parties because college actually helped organize some of them. So there was like an open party on a kind of a, like, not a field, but we have this hill. So the college, hired a DJ and everything. They allowed students from MIT to come. But God, since I was living in a dorm that time, I could hear all the pregame going on. So the students were kind of like drinking before the party. That was wild. The music was on until midnight because that was the policy of the college. Like, we allow you to do this until midnight. But if I'm not mistaken, 2 girls were taken to hospital by an ambulance because they got too drunk.
Wow.
So yeah, young and stupid.
Right.
True.
That's what they are.
Exactly.
So, but let's talk about not maybe parties, but celebration of certain events. So what about birthday? So how is birthday usually celebrated, let's say, in your country? And how do you celebrate it now?
Well, if we talk about children's party, the funny thing is it's almost like a rule that there has to be a clown because the clown is basically the one to entertain all the kids. And there's always, like balloons, party hats, spaghetti will always be there. As far as, really. It's funny because it's not from the Philippines, but in every party, there should be spaghetti. if we talk about Filipino parties, birthday parties, that's when somebody's celebrating his or her birthday.
That
For some
is
reason,
so interesting.
I know.
Why spaghetti?
It's so distinct, but I don't know why, but it has become a part of our, party culture.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so
I've never heard
interesting.
about it. Spaghetti for a party.
Right?
Interesting.
And of course, lots of games because, it's a children's party. And sometimes parents may be invited too to have some games that parents could join, could actually join. But if we talk about other parties for adults, it's mostly with a bit of karaoke because, Filipinos love singing. So lots of music as well. And I'm sorry to mention drinking again, but there is
that's
really
part
drinking.
of our life. So
Yeah.
what's that to be ashamed of? Like,
Well,
that's just part of parties. Yeah.
so lots of singing, dancing, drinking, eating, of course, and what else? There could be games as well. Although the focus is more on, is more like a musical party because there will be lots of singing. And if you have karaoke at home, it's even better because everybody will want to sing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God. Inga, what about Armenia?
I can say about
Birthday.
singing, we dance. We dance a lot Armenian dances.
Wow.
We dance a lot. We have barbecue, of course, of course. So during the children's parties, we have the clown as well. A lot of balloons. And
that's so
parents are
fun.
there, right? We go to the cafes. For teenagers, we go to the restaurants. And if we celebrate an anniversary, or maybe we celebrate it at home, just with parents, or maybe parents leave us and we have dancing. So a lot.
Dancing Nation.
Wow.
That's so cool. I think a lot of Russian people would agree right now that when we were kids, somehow our birthday was never really our birthday, because
What do you mean?
Because
Parents.
exactly. So you can imagine you have a birthday. So it's your family, your relatives, usually your adult relatives. So kind of, start drinking and talking and you're like, okay, why do I have to see all these faces, on my birthday? What about celebrating me? That's my birthday. But no, they bring gifts, of course. There's always cake. But other than that, it's more of an adult event. It becomes an adult event. I'm not sure about now because, things change, of course. So I believe that, let's say my generation, so we who have kids now, we wouldn't do it this way. I'm pretty sure it's going to be different, but I'm not sure. So, yeah.
And by the way, while we're still at it, because we're talking about birthdays, and part of your question is like, how do we celebrate birthdays?
I was going to, remind you of that. Yeah.
okay.
What about now? How do you celebrate your birthday nowadays?
Before I talk about how I celebrate it nowadays, just to give you an idea, before I was, how will I put it in a nice way? Anyway, the first thing that comes to mind is I was a bit I'm too hard on myself if I say this, but anyway, like I was too obsessed with myself. I felt like if, whenever I celebrated my birthday, it's my day. It's a special day. I would
That's called
expect
self-love, hun.
Okay, yeah, that's better than being self-obsessed. Anyway, so I felt like I had the right to be treated special on that day. And, I really had some expectations, like there should be some kind of surprises and, things like that. And I really enjoyed huge parties. Like, even when I started working and I was earning my own money, then I would treat my friends to go to, say, for example, a restaurant, to a club maybe, and pay for everyone because it's like, this is my birthday. So everybody should be happy and we're going to have fun. And I even wanted people to know that it was actually my birthday on that day. And I would expect messages, phone calls, things like that. But it's funny because right now, if I can be really honest, I don't even want people to know that it's my birthday.
Oh my God, why?
I don't want
Why
to celebrate it. If I celebrate it, I want to celebrate it only with one person or maybe maximum, two with me. Yeah. In some quiet place, in a restaurant, I don't know.
Values change, I think. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
And I don't even care if people don't remember my birthday, because to be honest with you, here's the thing. I feel guilty whenever people greet me on my birthday, but when it's their birthday, it's like, huh? It's your birthday today? Oh, okay. Really, that's why now when people don't know or forget about my birthday, cool, it's okay. I wouldn't be, offended. I wouldn't be upset.
Luckily, social media don't let us forget about people's birthdays these days. Thank you, Facebook.
You didn't even waited for us to celebrate, to congratulate you on your birthday. Remember?
Yeah, really.
Did you run away before being?
No, he was sitting in a room, so we opened it. Happy birthday! Just sang a song.
Not expecting anything at all.
Yeah, it was
interesting. So now you don't really celebrate it.
Yeah.
Inga, what about you?
Oh, I like my birthday, really. So my old teenagers, my students, I don't know why, they remember this day. Their parents remember. And once, 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken, I got a special cake covered with the picture of Big Apple School. Can you remember? It was something amazing. So
I think I remember that.
It was
at least
really
a picture
tasty,
of that.
right?
That's so sweet.
It is so sweet. So I get a lot of cards, a lot of presents, flowers I get. So their parents call me and celebrate. It's so cute. I really like it. So not for presents, but I like for attention, for that they remember this day. They try to just celebrate me. It's really nice.
How do you celebrate a birthday? Do you?
Actually, I do it at home with my relatives, with my family.
Do you bake a cake?
Of course.
Wow.
Course.
Yourself?
Myself.
Myself. That's lovely.
Really.
That's lovely. And it's kind of difficult to answer this question now because I've been living on and off, in Russia and in the US for the last 4 years. So it's kind of difficult because 3 years ago, 2 years I spent in the US. Last year I was here, but was I under quarantine? No, I wasn't. So it wasn't much, just we just spent some time, had a dinner with my parents. So this year I love my birthday. So let me be fair. I really love it. And I'm one of those annoying people who are like, my birthday's in a week. My birthday's in a week.
I do the same.
Because I don't know, I really love it. And this year, my birthday is in a month, and I have decided to have a celebration. So the thing is that in Novosibirsk, there's this culinary school, so that organize, some kind of workshops or lessons. So I'm getting my best friends, and we are having a lesson, so where we are taught how to cook something. So it's a huge kitchen. You all get your own set of, of ingredients. So you follow the chef's instructions. If you want, you can have a glass of wine while you're doing it. So, and you can choose and make both an entree and a dessert. And I'm like, I love that. So for this birthday celebration, we're going to be cooking.
Wow.
under the supervision of a professional chef. So I like these things, experiences. So
amazing.
I wanted to have a tradition actually of spending my birthday weekend in New York City, but COVID is a bitch who ruined my plans. I'm sorry. So yeah, but that's about birthday. Now, what about graduation? When you leave school, is that celebrated anyhow?
That's actually one of the biggest events.
Ooh.
And it's I would say a must celebrated event in the Philippines as far as we're concerned, because for us that is a life achievement. And not everyone can go to school and to even finish one's education. So that's always a big celebration, and it's always a source of pride for the parents that they were able to have their children graduate from school. And so there is always a huge party, and it's almost like it's announced to the community that, hey, we have a son or a daughter who's finishing or is having a graduation this weekend. So hey, if you want to come to our house, you're invited.
So is this graduation party a family party? I mean, because let's say in Russia, when you graduate, there's a huge party of the whole year that celebrates. So for example, you have 3 classes, so it's like 90 people, 100 people, and it's a big celebration of all of them. So usually some kind of a restaurant is rented, you know, there are MCs, so the music, everything like that. But it's not that common to celebrate it in a family because, you know, the kids are going to celebrate it all together, all 100 of them. So, but in the Philippines, it's
more of a family thing because it's a source of the parents' pride. So, but not the way you celebrate it here, like the whole, graduating batch. No, after the ceremony itself, we leave individually, each family to his own, to have their own celebration.
Wow, that's so different, but so interesting. Yeah. Oh, I've just realized I should ask my friends about the US because I have no idea. But yeah, in Russia, it's big, you know, and everyone's crazy. Why? Because usually girls, you know, have some kind of dresses for the ceremony when they get the, you know, the certificate or whatever. And then they usually change to even you know, more fancy dress, maybe.
Right, to go to the restaurant.
Yeah, and then they go to the restaurant, you know, to show off, like woohoo and party.
Dress to kill.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So what about Armenia, actually?
Oh, we have a big celebration, of course. So relatives come to congratulate, bring a lot of presents. But family, actually, the family of this kid, of this teenager, presents a piece of jewelry. A ring for girls, something unusual for boys. It can be a necklace or something like that, or a bracelet, I don't know. So girls get a ring, gold ring. So it is really amazing. And it's like something, a new life begins with a new piece of jewelry. So we celebrate it. We rent a restaurant. Children go to restaurant, and parents, relatives gather together at home, maybe, or they go to another restaurant. So not to
Kids, you know, let them
Kids are kids.
Let them have their own party, you know,
let them alone
without supervision. Ooh, and what about weddings?
Oh my God.
Oh, Inga's going to shine right now.
Right. So I know everybody knows about Armenian weddings. They are really big. So really big.
Like,
I had just a separate conversation, separate just podcast about Armenian weddings, traditions. So we have a lot of guests, 200, 300 guests in a restaurant.
Can you imagine that?
A lot of
goodness.
food, dances. Sure. So everybody's happy. So everyone dances there. So children, adults, it doesn't matter. And of course, they bring gift cards. Actually, just generally, they present gift cards. So relatives present jewelry. Piece of jewelry, right?
Okay.
Right. So, but neighbors, maybe friends, they present gift cards with some sum of money.
I think that's actually, you know, convenient.
It's convenient to buy whatever you want to buy, you need to buy. So it's really convenient, I guess.
You know, weddings in my country, it depends on the budget.
Well, that makes sense.
Because, of course, for those who are more modest, they would prefer to have what you call civil wedding, which actually happens in like a government building, and then, you know, the signing of the documents basically. And they would just either go to just a small restaurant if they want it to be a little more private, or just go straight home and, you know, do the celebration there with just a few guests, mainly family and relatives. But if we talk about those who can really afford, and let's say not just really afford, but if we talk about traditional Filipino weddings, we picture it happening in a church. Firstly, let me say that the Philippines is a predominantly Roman Catholic country, as influenced by the Spaniards. So we want, and our view of marriage is this is holy. It's you know, God puts you together, and it has to be a huge celebration, and it has to be done first in the church where you exchange your vows, where there is the priest.
With all that till death do us part.
Exactly. And it's, oh my God, the church itself is well decorated. There's this long red carpet in the middle, and then lots of guests. well wishers as well. And then after that, we go to the reception, depending on where they would want it to be held. Say, for example, on the beach. I remember my friend, she had it in Boracay. This is a huge, beautiful island in the Philippines. So lots of guests, lots of activities. Again, I'm sorry for mentioning drinking again.
Oh yeah, that's like the biggest part of a Russian wedding, you know.
So there are no parties without any kind of alcohol, I guess.
Right? Yeah, I mean.
Oh well. And if we talk about the old tradition where the couple would dance to a music, and then each of the guests, they will have to pin some bills like money onto the dress of the bride and the groom as well. Actually, both.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna Google it. You know.
Really. But it's kind of like, how will I put it? Like, embarrassing at times if you just pin in a small amount of money because it's public. Everyone
can see it. Yeah. Oh
Really.
my goodness. Oh God.
So I don't know. Thank God I don't live in that generation where it's really somewhat required. But nowadays, if we talk about modern weddings, I haven't seen that for a long while. So I suppose we're not really strictly observing this tradition anymore. Yeah.
I think traditional Russian wedding is I'm sorry, but it's a nightmare to my opinion, to my mind.
Why do you think so?
Well, because, a traditional one, the way it used to be, and maybe the way it is now, you have lots of people. And the thing is that everyone sits, at a designated place, so you can't really move. Lots of food. Then the bride and the groom, they sit, at a certain part of the room, at the middle of the table. Then you have a horrible MC, a master of ceremonies, who would make, the cheesiest jokes ever. There's some kind of contest,
I don't like the contest.
I hate them. Everybody does. And then a lot of alcohol and most people get drunk and no. So I'm kind of planning my wedding right now and I'm like, we are not having any of that stuff. It's going to be, maybe some kind of an arch, 5-6 people max. Given that it's going to be in another country, I do think that it's going to be 5-6 people max. Maybe some, some not snacks, but some kind of meals that are easy to grab and go, just circulate and talk to people.
Right.
Maybe some signature drinks, something like that. But that's it. Not a huge gathering, nothing like that. Just cute ceremony. That's
modern family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, now I think that it's always better to keep it quiet, keep it small, but then maybe go travel,
Why not? To save some money.
Exactly. Like, to have a honeymoon, for example. So, yeah.
Why not?
I actually like that idea. And if I were to be married someday, I would want it to be like that. Because I don't know, it's funny because now I have become more private and I don't like big groups anymore.
Especially, it's your special day. So why invite people who you don't maybe know really well? Yeah, and with spending a lot of money, I have chosen my dress already. But I mean, yeah, I know that it's like a year before the event, and I'm like, I'm not spending more than like $150. That's the max. Like, no, these crazy $1,000 dresses or whatever. Like, no.
Throwing away.
Exactly. You just wear it once. I have chosen the one that I can kind of, cut later and wear it in the summer.
Yeah.
Pragmatic.
Yeah. So there were a lot of people on my wedding day. So I don't see them. I didn't know about them. It's something crazy. So I don't see them. Never.
So in Armenia, then it's gift cards that are gifted to the newlyweds.
Actually, yes.
In the Philippines, it's money.
Well, used to be, but if we talk about modern weddings, now we can give something in kind. So it can be mostly things that are needed in the house.
I think in Russia nowadays, it's mostly money, which is, again, convenient. I know that in the US, some people don't want to give money. They want something more physical maybe. So in this case, the couple has a registry. So they go to a website of a shop, create a special wish list that is called like a registry. And then people choose what they want to present on this website so that
according to their budget.
Exactly. And other guests can actually see what is already taken so they don't buy it too. And usually when you create this registry, you put, some minor things, some big things. So, depending on the budget, some people might cooperate maybe. So
It's really convenient.
And then in the end, you get what you want exactly, what you want. Even the color, because everything is on the wish list. I think it's smart.
Great idea.
Very practical.
You should have this list, Kate.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, for my 5 people that are coming to my wedding. Yeah. So, and what about other types of parties? Because we've mentioned birthday, wedding, graduation. Now, what about these strange modern parties that are like gender reveal parties or baby showers? What's your attitude to them?
We have this kind of parties, gender reveal parties, right? Yes, I didn't have it, but my friend had it. So the doctor just wrote the gender on a piece of paper and put it into an envelope and pass it to the confectioner to make a cake with the filling, with the flavor of, I don't know, blue for boys, pink for girls. So at the party, there were a lot of balloons, pink and blue. There were a lot of people, relatives. All of them were waiting to cut the cake. Yes, and see the gender. So it was a boy, actually. So they were really happy because Armenians like boys. Oh, I don't know why. Boys.
I think now people, taking it to another level. So it's not always the cake. Some people have, a balloon. They have to go, like, kind of have a needle, to pick at it. Then it pops and then you have something like inside. So there are so many ways to do that now. But,
I find this interesting because I don't think we have such a thing traditionally because it was never the case that we would want to reveal the gender of our, child in a very public way such that there has to be a party. But I would say that it's a recent thing, I guess, that has entered our culture because little by little, I would see videos on YouTube, Filipino families who would have such parties. But if we are going to be strict and, go back in time, I don't even think it existed before. Yeah.
Well, I think it's a very recent trend that has come from the US, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, now that we all have social media, we kind of see the ideas that exist somewhere else. Because I only saw this on Instagram, I'm like, oh, what's that? Oh, that's what it is. So, yeah. All right. And what about bachelor or bachelorette party? Have you ever been to one?
I wish I'd been to one, but well, obviously I haven't. But, if any of my friends would invite me, well, why not? I'd be happy to, attend one.
So I have never been again. So I can't.
None of us has. Neither have I.
Oh, well.
If anyone's getting married soon, please invite us. We want to see what it's like. Yeah. All right. So, and we kind of have touched upon it, one of the biggest attributes of a party, gifts. So we've talked about wedding gifts, but what about birthday gifts actually? So is it common? So do you need to bring a gift to a B-day party? And what do you usually present?
I think it is like an unwritten rule that if somebody celebrates his or her birthday and you're invited to some kind of a party, then you ought to take with you some presents. And in my country, normally we just bring something that will be of use to the person. Although we also have the option of giving him or her money. But as far as we're concerned, if you give money, it's I'm sorry to say this, but it looks a bit lazy because it's
like you
not
haven't put any thought into
you
it.
didn't put much thought. Exactly. And that's why it would mean more to us if you actually, gave us something that is probably something that we really like. Say, for example, as simple as a notebook with the color that we prefer. Yeah. Or it could be a pen, it could be a perfume, something that we really like. But if it's money, it's not like it's not appreciated. It's just that okay, money, sure, thanks. At least, you bothered to give something as a present.
Interesting. So is it the same in Armenia?
Actually, relatives know what to present, so they know what you need. So, of course, my husband knows what I want to have. So it is, he always gives me what I want, what I need. But the others try to guess what you need. So they don't bring money. No, they just try to choose something.
Oh, so but never money.
Never money. No, I don't know nowadays. I don't know nowadays. Maybe something has changed in Armenia. I don't know. But in particular, in our family, it's something just not money. No.
Yeah. I think, well, again, I think in Russia it varies from family to family. Like in my family, my parents usually presented me some money, but my sister never. She's like, I'm gonna choose something. But then it's interesting that in the US, it's not expected of you to bring a gift if you have a birthday party, actually. So you can bring booze, so a bottle of wine or something like that, but you're not expected to bring a gift, which is shocking to my Russian heart and soul. Like how come that you're coming to a birthday party?
How could you?
Exactly. So, and I remember when my partner had a birthday and they invited, people. Only us Russians actually brought, gifts.
To bring gifts.
Everyone's like, let us guess. So these 3 gifts are from the Russians because nobody else brought a gift. And I was so surprised. Like, how? But it's a birthday. You should celebrate a person.
Right.
Put some effort. Oh, yeah, no.
Strange, but true.
I mean, if I get money as a present, I'm totally fine because I always know, what I want to get. Yeah. So I'll
color,
get that anyway.
The shape, the size, of course.
So it won't go.
And by the way, just to be clear, I'm also okay with money.
To anyone listening, I'm okay with money. Donations are accepted at this.
What I said earlier was just the general thing with us Filipinos that, we prefer something in kind instead of money. But, I can accept cash.
Be free.
Cash and direct deposit is always welcome.
I can give you my, bank account. So. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you know what? It might be a joke, but last year when it was quarantine time, that's exactly what I did. So I couldn't organize a party. I'm like, hey, that's my birthday. If anyone wants to make me a little bit happier, here's the number of my card. Joke's on you. I bought 19 books for that money. So, I mean, why not? If people can't, they won't. But if people make you happy, but don't want to make you happy, but don't know how, why not? The art of asking.
There's a way out.
Exactly. But I really want to ask you now, what has been your first best gift you've ever received?
Go ahead.
I don't know.
I
should remember.
I think that was a gasp of surprise rather than do I have
really
a story.
Surprised to get this question. I did actually remember my first gift. First gift when, Kate?
No, the best. The best gift.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
I should have the sound effect of like cricket.
Okay, I'm really
Crickets.
impressed by this bracelet that you can see. It's just gold bracelet from my husband on our 10th anniversary of marriage. So it was a surprise. He knew that I wanted to have this one, and I didn't know that he's going to present. So it was so the day on this day. So it was late in the evening. So he presented all the flowers.
Oh, he waited until late in the evening, so you don't.
He presented all the flowers and nothing. So I was, okay, flowers, okay. So late at night when the jeweler brought, so it was just ordered one. Brought this bracelet. He came and said, "Congratulations!" It was something. Oh my God! It was so cute
that's so
to get this one, and
sweet.
I'm wearing it always, every day. I can say it. So it's really the best one I can remember right now.
Okay, I guess it's my turn.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The only thing that I can say that I was really, really surprised and was very pleased to receive was when I was a child. And I said it in one of our episodes before, it was like basically a furniture, table and chairs for my action figures for Spider-Man, Batman, etc.
right.
That was the best present I received as a child. Now, as an adult, because to be honest with you, for me, it's the thought that counts. So, of course, I do appreciate presents, but I don't, how will I put it? Like, I don't give much value to them, but it would be nice. It is always a pleasant feeling if somebody remembers to even, give you something on your birthday. But because I have changed, I have matured. I don't even drink anymore, so I'm not a party animal anymore. So I think so long as you remember it, even though I don't remember your birthday, for example, if we talk about friends, I can appreciate it with or without a present. I don't know. I have changed.
All right. I think in my case, there are two best gifts that are totally different. So one of them was 3 years ago when my partner at the time took me to New York City for my birthday.
Wow.
I was like, oh my God, are you for real? So yeah, and it was also my first time in New York City. So it was fantastic, even though we didn't get to see much because we, instead of 4 hours of driving, we spent almost 7 hours of driving because of traffic. So, but yeah, it was just fantastic to see all the skyscrapers with your own eyes,
Great.
I loved it so much.
That must have been really special.
It was. So the weather was horrible, I gotta say, but I didn't care. I'm like, I finally saw all of it. And then the second gift, so the thing is that I have no idea who I got it from because I think it was, 5 years ago, we had a Secret Santa with one of the groups that I was teaching. And my Secret Santa got me a 5-year notebook. So basically it has 365 pages, each page a question. So, and you answer it every year. So, and the thing is that it's not a big, it's not a big deal basically, but I'm now in my 5th year of that notebook and I can reread the answers, see what changed, how my opinion on things have changed. Sometimes I answer the same way 5 years in a row, but some of the questions I see how much I have changed. So, and it's just so precious, this little thing that you didn't think would be, something valuable, but now it has a lot of emotional value, I would say. So I want to keep it.
Of course.
And now I kind of want to find something like that because 2021 is the last year that I'm keeping it. So I want to get something like that so that I can keep track of how I have changed and how things have happened. So yeah.
It's a very special present.
Right. I have no clue who out of my students was my Secret Santa. So if you're listening, Secret Santa, thank you. See, this is one of the best gifts I've ever had in my entire life. And I have one last question, actually. So what do you think about recycling gifts? So recycling gifts is when you get a gift, you don't like it, so you give it to somebody else. So what is your opinion of that?
Well, personally, I don't see anything wrong with that. Okay, I know people might, think that it's a bit maybe disrespectful in a way because that present was given to you for you and probably was made for you. Okay, here's my thing. I appreciate presents because it was made or, it's a product of someone's thoughtfulness and they really care about you because they want you to feel special on your birthday. Or it could be Christmas or whatever occasion. But, okay. Instead of getting rid of the present, when I say get rid, simply throw it away or to not use it, which is even worse for me because, what's the point if you're not going to use it?
Yeah.
Then I might as well give it away to someone who may need it. So personally, and please don't judge me, I am open to the idea of recycling presents. And to be honest with you, I've done it before, but of course I made sure that, I gave it to someone that this person who gave the present to me didn't know because it would
even
be,
though it's okay,
if they find out about
guilty,
it, they would be, you can just imagine.
Yeah. Inga, what's your opinion?
Sometimes I think it's offensive,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes when I know that I have got the same one, the same color, size,
For example,
shape,
yeah.
so my friend needs it, I can share it. Of course, why not? So, but even I know that. So it's just something valuable, and this person wants me to have it. Of course, I have it. Even I don't use it, but I have it. I keep it.
Well, yeah,
So
it depends on what it is and what and who from.
Once I got beautiful silver earrings from my grandma, but it was something just not for a teenager, for an adult. So my mom liked it a lot. So I said, okay, you can wear them if you want.
Until I
So
become
it was
an adult.
My grandma, oh my God, you didn't like my earrings. So why don't you wear them? So I said, my mom is wearing, so for some time, so I'm going to
just
take them
lent.
back later, maybe when I grow up.
Yeah.
So it happened. I gave it to my mom, but still there are some things that you don't like, color, shape, I don't know. So it was even maybe you have had already.
True.
It's okay.
That's why I like the American tradition, kind of the American way of doing it. So they present gifts with a gift receipt. On a gift receipt, you don't see the sum of money. But if you don't like it, you can take it back to the store and exchange it for something.
Great one.
And then in there, only at the store, when you say, I want to exchange it, you choose something else. And then they say, okay, you need to pay, let's say like $20 more, or you still have some, value left, but you can't exchange it back for money.
Okay.
So
Well,
for
it's something amazing.
it is because,
have it
for
here.
example, I remember I had a New Year gift and it was a dress and a sweater, but the dress was way too big. So I kind of couldn't wear it. But there was a gift receipt. So I went to the store, got the same very dress, but in a smaller size. Ta-da!
So everyone is happy.
Yeah. Ooh, there are so many things we could have talked about, but so I would like to ask you one last maybe question. So I don't really want to mention, what we've discussed because listeners know already, but what is the main idea that you have got from this episode? Maybe the most surprising thing. So what are you going to remember this episode by?
Some traditions from the Philippines.
Oh,
I guess.
of course, in my case, about Armenia, Russia, when it comes to weddings or celebrating parties, those things. Yeah.
A lot of new things, I guess.
I think
New
the
information.
main thing I'm going to get from this podcast is that one, recycling gifts is totally fine. Don't be offended by it. And two, spaghetti on a Filipino birthday party. That's going to stick in my head, really.
Or maybe 200 or 300 people at Armenian wedding.
Yeah,
So I
I've been
guess-
surprised about that since the previous
For
episode.
me, it's the dances. I didn't know
Yes,
that
dances.
your culture is so much into dancing. That's
We adore
really,
music,
really interesting
dances,
for me.
and everyone dances. And I can confess I dance really well.
Wow.
Well, I hope our listeners also have found something, interesting and learned something new. Let us know what it was. What surprised you most, about today's episode? And what do you think about gifts and parties? Are you a party animal? Let us know. Maybe we can throw a party, together. You never know. So, all right. So that was the Big Apple School podcast. And I would like to thank you for listening. And remember, if you struggle to understand our conversation, you're always welcome to our website, which is bigappleschool.com/podcast. You can find full scripts of each episode there so you can listen and read, and it's very helpful. Also, if you want to get more content, which will help you learn English, you can follow us on social media, such as Instagram, as I've mentioned, VK, YouTube, Telegram. Just search our name, Big Apple School. So that was Katya, and my guests for today were...
Ken
and
Inga.
stay tuned, and we'll see you around.